Hello guys, and welcome back to another class of our course about the complete introduction to data science. So in today's class we are still going to talk about SciPy, and this is our last class about this amazing Python library. So basically what we are going to learn today, what we are going to talk about today will be linear algebra and all the functions that we can use with linear algebra inside of SciPy. So basically, as I said, there is plenty of sub packages that exist in SciPy, and one of those give us access to the majority of linear algebra functions that exist. So basically, we are going to learn two of those functions, which are basically the solve function, which will solve an operation of linear algebra with the two square arrays. So basically we're going to create square arrays with the use of NumPy and simply solve them together. And we are also going to generate the reverse of an array, so basically with the env function. So there are plenty of functions that exist with the basically not SciPy but the linear algebra, so the sub package that is linear algebra inside of SciPy. So some of those functions will be, for example, the basic functions, which will be the solve function, the norm function, the PNV function, the PNV2 function. We have the eigenvault problems. We have matrix functions, we have matrix equation solvers, we have special matrices, and plenty of others. So basically the linear algebra part of SciPy is really huge and is really well built. So basically, if you guys are advanced in linear algebra, you can do pretty much anything you want with SciPy if you want to build up an application that uses linear algebra with it. So it could be for data science, it could be for any other personal project. All right, so as I said, the functions that we are going to use today would be the env function that will compute the inverse of a matrix, and the solve function that will simply solve the linear equation set of our two matrices for the unknown x for square A matrix. All right, so let's start. Basically, the first function that we are going to learn will be the solve function. And before we even start, what we need to do, we need to import NumPy as well as SciPy because we are going to use both of them. So as always, we are going to import SciPy. And then we are going to import NumPy because we will need to create arrays. Here we go. When it's all done, what we want to do, as I said, we are going to work with the linear algebra. So we need to import the sub package linalg, which would be the linear algebra sub package. So simply write down from SciPy import linalg. So basically this would be the linear algebra sub package. Right now what we want to do, we need to create our array. So basically we have imported everything that we need. Now it's time for us to start our operation. So let's create our arrays. So what we'll do right now, we'll create two arrays. So we'll call it array1. And for array1, we'll have two square arrays. So basically it's going to be two lines of two numbers. So pretty simple. So how to write down an array, so np.array, we open up the parentheses, and here we can write down one entry, so basically even numbers, and in the second array we'll write down odd numbers. So it's going to be 2 and 4. Alright, so for the second one we'll do the exact same thing, so we'll just copy everything from here to there. We'll call it array number 2, and what we'll do, we'll just change the numbers that are inside. Let's put 5 and 9, and here let's put 2, well, let's put 6 and 8. All right, so we have our numbers. Amazing. So right now we have everything that we need. So what we can do to be sure that everything works fine, so we can print array1. Here we go. As well as array2. All right, so everything works fine, everything is perfect. So as you can see, everything is great, everything works. So now it's time for us to make the operation. So basically, as I said, the first thing that we'll do, we'll solve the operation that will work with array 1 and array 2. And basically the goal here would be to solve the linear equation set, so a multiplied by x equals b, for the unknown x for square A matrix. So basically in this case we'll have a and b. Alright, so let's do it. So pretty simple. What we'll do right now, we'll create another variable. In this case we will call this variable function 1, and let's do it. So basically we will write our function. So it's gonna be sp because we are referring to SciPy, to a SciPy function. So we'll write down sp dot lin alg, since it's a sub package of SciPy. So basically linear algebra is a sub package of SciPy. Next thing, we'll write down the function that we are going to use. So in this case it's gonna be the solve function. And what want to solve exactly? Want to solve array 1 as well as array 2. So array 1 mixed with array number 2. So what want to do right now? We want to print function 1. Alright, so I just made a little mistake. We'll write it down again. So basically it's going to be sp.linalg.solve, and in this case it's going to be array 1 and array 2. Great, so we have everything we need. So next thing that we need to do is pretty simple. We need to verify that there is no mistakes, that everything works fine. So basically in our case right now, everything looks pretty good. So we have our array 1, array 2. Here we go. So we have a little problem right here. You can just correct it. Here we go, and we can print absolutely everything. So as you can see, this would be our answer right here. So it has solved the equation that gave us this answer right there. All right, so next thing that we want to do right now is pretty simple. What we want to do is calculate the reverse of our array right here. So pretty simple. What we'll do, we'll simply calculate the reverse of this array. So in this case, what we can do, we can simply write down function. So function, let's say in this case we didn't use function 1, we automatically printed it. So we can just write down function 1 and write it down. So basically function 1 will be equal to our operation. So it's going to be sp.linalg, because we are making a reference to linear algebra functions. And the function that we are going to use will be the env function, or the reverse function. So in this case, we want the reverse function of array 1. And what we want to do right now, we want to print it. So basically we'll just delete the print right here. And what we want to do right now, we want to print our function 1. So we'll just open up the parentheses and we'll write down function 1. All right, when everything is done, we simply run our operation. And as you can see, we have the reverse function of our array number 1 right here, or of our function 1. So basically this is the reverse of array number 1. Calculated, it has computed the inverse of this matrix. Alright, so you guys, I hope until now you guys saw everything that you can do with SciPy. So once again, you will not be a professional of SciPy after just this part of the course, but I hope you guys have a certain idea of what SciPy is. So I hope until now you guys like the course. I hope you will continue it, because there are plenty of other interesting things to learn. So that's it for this class, guys, and see you all in the next part of the course.